Welcome back, cardboard addicts! Today, we're looking at a blue and green deck I've made based on the Marsh Viper. He is a 1/2, casting cost 4. When he damages a player, it doesn't say combat damage, that player gets 2 poison counters. Even what I love about this card, it even says, if a player has 10 or more poison counters, he or she loses the game. Just in case people forget. The way I have him deal damage to people is usually not through combat. I use a card called Hermetic Study, which only costs 2, and I can enchant him, and I can tap him to have him deal 1 damage to any target creature or player. I also have a card that does the exact same thing in there, called Psionic Gift. 2 casting costs aura. Tap, this creature deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Can't have enough of them. Not only is the Marsh Viper in there, but we've got Death Toucher, a couple Death Touchers. We've got the Sedge Scorpion. So I can just pretty much tap him to kill any creature on the board that isn't indestructible. That's the beauty in it. It's not fighting. It just straight out does 1 damage. And 1 damage from a death touch creature kills another creature that's not indestructible. This guy is a Deadly Recluse. He not only has death touch, but he also has reach. He's a 1/2 for 2 mana. I like to have a bunch of small creatures in here because we got Intruder Alarm. So that makes it so creatures don't untap during their controller's normal untap phase. Whenever any creature comes into play, you can untap all creatures. So if I keep playing little creatures, I can just keep tapping my creatures away to kill creatures or give poison counters to my opponents. I also have the Livewire Lash in there. So whenever anyone targets one of my creatures, I can have that creature deal 2 damage to target creature or player. So not only is it a good equipment, because it gives my creature +2/+0, but when my creature gets targeted, I can have it deal 2 damage to target creature or player. And that will either result in 2 poison counters or killing a creature. So it really deters people from targeting my creatures. But the way I like to target my creatures is with Refocus. I can untap it and draw a card, which is bad for people. I can use a Dream's Grip. I can tap or untap it. I can do both for 2 mana because it has Entwine. I have Ghostform. So if just tapping my creature to deal damage is not good enough, I can attack and they'll be unblockable. Most of the creatures in this deck has power 1, all except for the Sabertooth Cobra, which is a 2/2, but we'll come back to him in a second. I'm experimenting with Umezawa Fugitive. It says creatures I control with power or toughness 1 or less can't be blocked. I haven't got to use him yet, but we'll see how it goes. I also have, oh yeah, let's come back to the Sabertooth Cobra. He's really nice because if he damages a player, he or she gets a poison counter, which is great on its own. But during that player's next upkeep, he or she gets another poison counter unless they pay 2 to prevent this effect. And of course, it's got some of the most beloved words in Magic to me. If any player has 10 or more poison counters, he or she loses the game. Oops, sorry, there's a bit glare there. But let's take a moment to enjoy that last sentence. We got the Green Sun Zenith in there, just to go search for whatever I may need at the time. I may have an Infect creature, and I don't have a Death Toucher, or I may have a Death Toucher and I don't have an Infect creature. So I can just pay X and 1, search my library for a green creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put onto the battlefield, and this guy shuffles back into my library. I got 2 of those, which is nice. Here's one of my favorite creatures I'll show you guys. This guy's name is Blight Mamba, but I never call him that when I'm playing. For some reason, it always comes out of my mouth, Blight Mamba. So I always end up playing a Blight Mamba instead of a Blight Mamba. But he's a 1/1, 2 casting cost Infect that you can regenerate for 1 colorless and 1 green. I have the Mage's Guile in there just in case somebody wants to try and target my stuff also. And it has cycling, so if I don't need that, I can just discard it to draw another card. I used to run a bunch of Viridian Longbows in there, but I find that the auras are more cost effective because it costs 1 to play this guy and it costs 3 to equip. So it's taking me way too long to get the creature out and then get this this equipment on him. I also have an Awakening, which at the beginning of each player's upkeep, untap all creatures and all lands. This has kind of got a little bit of a drawback on it, because it's not a good idea for me to let people untap their lands. But it doesn't come out once. It's only come out once for me, I think, when I played this deck. It doesn't come out very often because I only got 1 of them. But I thought this deck was pretty clever. If you guys got any suggestions on how to make it better, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have an infectious day!